Hey, if your business looks just like every other option in town, customers are going to choose based on price or even worse, at random. If you want to stop competing in a race to the bottom, this episode is your wake-up call.
Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility, the podcast empowering you, adventurous small business owners, to attract your ideal customers and boost your revenue. I'm your host, Jason McKenzie. Each week, we'll explore easy-to-implement tools and strategies to take your business to new heights and build the lifestyle you want. If you're ready for more profits and less stress, let's get started.
So the other day, I'm standing at the grocery store right in front of this mountain of apples. You've probably been there too, haven't you? The moment when you're not really in a rush, you just want a few apples. Maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3, right? And you're standing there trying to pick the best ones from what's available. You're looking at them. They're just this polished apple of identical fruit. They're red, they're shiny, and honestly, they all look the same. They're the same size, they're the same shape, same perfect hue. So how do you choose, right? Chances are you just grabbed a few decent ones, tossed them in the cart, no drama, no deep analysis. You just went and picked a few, right? But now imagine this. What if your business is one of those apples and the people you're trying to reach, your potential customers, scanning this lineup of indistinguishable options, one after another, same services, same website layout, same promises, same tone, all the businesses look the same. You know what happens next? They can't tell the difference. So they just default to whatever is easiest. Maybe it's price, maybe it's convenience, maybe it's the proximity of the business to them, whatever catches their eye first. And sometimes it's just a gut feeling. Sometimes they're just guessing. That's what happens when your business blends in with the competition. It's rough, isn't it? Because when people can't see why you're better or even just different, they start comparing based on price. Suddenly, you're not just another option, you're just another name in the race to the bottom of the price pile, competing on cost. Do you ever feel that pressure to lower your prices or offer more for less? It's exhausting, isn't it? And it's really unsustainable unless you're the cheapest or the biggest, which is probably not the game you want to play. Now let's rewind for a minute and go back to those apples. Not all the apples are the same. You know that. Even the red ones. You might be surprised by how many subtle factors shoppers can actually be using when they're looking for apples. They might look for how crisp they appear, the firmness of the apple, how shiny they are, whether the apple was organic or whether the apple was grown locally, the packaging the apples came in, even the brand recognition. So is it a Gala? Is it a Fuji? Is it a Red Delicious? Is it a Granny Smith apple? What kind of apple is it? Even though they're all apples, and sure, they're all fruit, right? But each one has slightly different appeal. There's a different perception around them and ultimately leads to a different decision. That's the same opportunity sitting in front of you right now. Because in business, being good is the baseline. It's expected. It's assumed. So, what you really need is you need to be meaningfully different. Let that sink in for just a moment. Being good is not enough. You must be meaningfully different. So how do you do that? You have to start by thinking about what kind of different actually matters to your ideal clients. Let's say speed is your edge. You deliver faster than anyone else in your space. That's not just a feature, it's a value. It's noticeable, and if your competition can't keep up, that becomes a strategic advantage that's tough to beat. Now, imagine your only difference is that you send a handwritten thank you card. That's nice, right? Is that really going to be what seals the deal for most customers? Probably not. That's kind of like picking an apple because the stem is a little shorter than the rest. No one's making the choice based on that. So here is a powerful filter to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out what you should be talking about in your business. The more important that difference is to your ideal customers is the more power it gives you over your competition. Want to win? Then choose to be different in ways that actually matter. And even better, choose ways your competitors cannot easily replicate. So let's go back to the apple display one more time. What if your apple is twice the size of every other one? That's not subtle. That's impossible to ignore. It pulls the attention. It demands everyone look at it. It stands out. That's your goal, to become the showstopper in your market. So ask yourself, could you offer a bold guarantee that no one else dares to promise? Could you cut your delivery time in half? Could you create a customer experience that leaves people raving for days? Could your brand personality or story become the brand magnet that draws people in? The more strategic and consistent you are about your difference, the stronger your business becomes. In fact, it becomes a moat. Now imagine this. Your business is like a castle, and inside that castle is you, your team, your customers. Outside is the competitors all trying to get in to get to your customers, but they can't. Why? Because that protective moat around your castle is deep and wide. Your difference is clear, and it protects you from being copied, undercut, or overlooked. Now, some moats are massive. We're talking maybe you have a patent that protects your products. Maybe you have a proprietary and secret system. Maybe it's a vital brand name or a huge loyal audience. But even small businesses can have mighty moats. If you've established local trust, if you have lightning fast results, if you have lightning fast responses, maybe you establish deep personal relationships with your customers, or you have a reputation for reliability and excellence. Perhaps it's just a service model that feels better to your customers. Each one of those things helps establish the moat around the castle of your business. You don't need to be the biggest. You just need to be irreplaceable to the people who matter. All right, so there's two different types of differences in business. There's the differences that people notice and care about, and there's the ones that simply don't move the needle. And it can be tempting to obsess over the shiny extras. Maybe it's your logo, your tagline, a clever packaging. But those are just surface level. They're easy to copy and easy to ignore. The real advantage lives in the deep end. This is where you want to specialize. That's where you serve with laser focus. That's where your process is so dialed in, no one can touch it. That's where you keep showing up while your competitors ghost people. When you choose to stand out in meaningful, strategic ways, you stop being one of many. You become the only one they want. And the best part? You don't need 20 advantages. You probably only need about 3 that really matter. So go all in, build your messaging around those 3 differences, make it your signature. Let it echo in your marketing, your customer journey, and your reputation, because that's what's going to separate businesses that struggle from businesses that thrive. If your business is blending in, you're letting your competitors write your story. Be different in ways that matter and cannot be copied. Hey, if this episode hit home for you, share it with a fellow business owner who's tired of feeling like just another apple in the pile. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss what's next. Until next time, keep showing up, stand out, and watch your business thrive.